Next on The Broadway Show, the icon Billy Porter is on the show to talk about bringing his music to a city near you. It's the Black Mona Lisa Tour. Plus, it's Eye of the Tiger. We're on the red carpet for the opening night of Life of Pi. And there's Life After Romeo. I'm hanging out with the star of & Juliet, Lorna Courtney. I'm Tamsen Fadal, and this is The Broadway Show. Each and every week, we're excited to bring you The Broadway Show, and that's why I'm so glad you're here. I'm Tamsen Fadal. Tony winner Billy Porter is an icon for about a dozen different reasons: acting, activism, fashion, music, and much more. And now he's setting forth on his first ever career-spanning pop concert tour. Let's send it out to Paul Wontorek.
Thanks, Tamsen. Emmy, Grammy, and Tony winner Billy Porter is hitting the road to promote his new album, Black Mona Lisa. We met up at Sardi's to talk about his new music and why Broadway will always be part of his story.
Gotta let these children know what time it is. Gotta let these children know what time it is. 'Cause I've been there, done that, one night, just so you know, mama knows it best.
Billy, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Skinny Minnie.
You too.
Well, you know.
Here's the thing I love about the rise of Billy Porter,
Okay,
who
tell
I've
me.
known forever.
Yeah.
But what I love about it is I never know what you're going to announce next. You've done so many incredible projects
Oh,
in
thank
the last
you.
5 years. I mean,
Yes.
it's insane. But right now, we have a new album
Yes, we do.
and we have a tour,
We have a big old 25 city tour. Yes.
and you're bringing it to the children, aren't you?
I am bringing it to the children. I am bringing the Black Mona Lisa Tour Volume 1.
Why Black Mona Lisa?
Okay, so Black Mona Lisa is the name of my full album.
Right.
And this album is really special to me because I wrote it all. And I worked with some of the best people in the pop music industry. What I find funny and ironic is for the first 25 years of my career, I was trying to convince people that I was a real serious actor.
Right.
And now, you know, I read comments like, oh, I didn't know Pray Tell could sing.
Yeah, he can.
You know, what's interesting about our world is that so often our minds can only receive one thing at a time.
Right.
Right? And so I'm so multi-hyphenated and I exist in so many different creative spaces.
Yeah.
And very often they don't speak to each other. You know, and so what I find is that all of my audiences, you know, from film and television to the Broadway audience, to the recording audience, to the activism audience, to the fashion audience, they're all separate. And they don't speak to each other.
Right.
And so my hope with this tour and this new album, since we all know music is the universal language, is that I can bring all of these audiences together. I'm so excited to go out into the world to be able to spread this message and to minister to people.
I'ma make the world sing and be more than a memory. The stranger things that happened to me.
Well, I'm not trying to take ownership over you, but I think Broadway hugged you first.
Yes, of course.
It did, right?
Listen.
That happened during Kinky
Listen,
Boots,
of course.
So let's actually get this down.
Absolutely.
So Kinky Boots got you your T, your
Tony.
T and your G.
My T and my G.
Your T
yes.
and your G. And then Pray Tell and Pose got you your E.
My E.
And the O is TBD.
And the O is TBD. And the Walk of Fame, all
How
of it
about
got.
that?
It's the culmination, darling.
In your book, you say that the original dream, just to remind you of the original dreams. I feel like you've been dreaming a lot of dreams.
Yes.
Original dream was take Broadway by storm.
Yes.
We did that. Win a Tony. And then do a sitcom like Nell Carter got after she did a. So maybe Give Me a Break reboot.
And be the male Whitney Houston.
Oh, and that.
Because that was the music
Well, of
part.
course, the music.
So
music
as you
thing.
can see, as a child, I was already multi-hyphenated before I even knew what the
Absolutely.
word meant.
Do you know when actually the most telling thing was what I learned when you were a kid doing theater?
What did I do?
They would double cast every role,
Oh, yeah.
except for whatever role you got.
Yes, in
Because
middle school.
there's not another Billy Porter. that
was
to
the-
me was so telling.
That was the moment when I realized that I had power, that my art and my talent was my power, my gift was my power. You know, because up until that time, I was bullied incessantly every single day. And then in the 5th grade, I sang in the talent show. and the bullying stopped. You know, and it was like, okay, there's some power in this, and I want to figure out how to use that for the rest of my life. My childhood was very traumatic, and I was just trying to get out.
Yeah.
And I was at Carnegie Mellon, and I was trying to leave there early, and a couple of things had happened, and by the time I got to senior year, it was like the whole Saigon situation was going on, and I had auditioned, and I had several callbacks, and I booked the show. And at the final callback, I said, if I book this show, I will never ride a Greyhound bus again. And I booked the show, and I haven't been on a Greyhound bus since. And the December 27th was the day that I got on my last Greyhound bus, and I moved to New York to begin rehearsals for the original cast of Miss Saigon on January 11th, 1991. Now, I'm getting back on a bus for this Black Mona Lisa tour.
Oh.
Now, see, it's not a Greyhound bus. She a rock and roll bus.
I love that. So you are getting back on a bus, but
I am getting on a
it's
bus.
different. It's a little different.
It's on my own terms.
On your terms. No Greyhound with the smelly bathroom.
Right.
I know Kinky Boots was a beast of a show. It was a big gig.
Yeah.
And it led to that Tony, which
Yeah.
was exciting. It led to the Sardi's caricature.
Yeah.
How do you look back on that period of your life specifically?
I look back on it as this whole period from actually Angels in America revival in 2010 all the way up to now as redemptive, as redemption. On paper, I wasn't supposed to be here like this. I wasn't supposed to be here. And there were a lot of people, you know, who gave up on me or put a limit on what I could do because of who I am. I feel redeemed. Ain't no glass ceiling, ain't no limit, no kind of limit. And I'm talking about age too, I'm talking about race, I'm talking about gender, I'm talking about all of it. There is no limit. When you believe in yourself, when we can learn how to love ourselves first, then we teach everybody else how to treat us and love us back. That was the shift for me. That was the change. I learned how to do that, and here I sit.
I love it. I love all of it. I love seeing what you do next. I love being wowed by the next surprise announcement and not know, like, what's he up to now? What is Billy gonna do next? It's amazing.
Thank you.
And that's not even mentioning the outfits. What's Billy gonna wear?
What's she gonna wear?
The Olivier Award-winning Life of Pi has just set sail on Broadway. It's the quest for survival based on the best-selling novel, and we hit the red carpet opening night.
I'm feeling mad excited. Oh my God. I think the visuals are amazing. The music is extraordinary. And I think it's again, it's like people are going to come to see a show and then they're suddenly going to be like, whoa, I feel like I've been to like church almost.
People are going to come to this show thinking that they know what a tiger on stage is going to look like and how they're going to feel about that tiger. And then when they leave weeping because of Richard Parker, that I think is what's going to, the emotional connection that they're going to feel to these puppets and to the story, but these puppets in particular, yeah.
That tiger, Richard Parker, he's fantastic. It'll blow you away. Every night, it'll blow you away.
There's these little foreshadowing moments that happen early in the play about the orangutan or the hyena or the zebra, and depending on how much those puppets connect with the audience early on, those characters connect with the audience, these different sounds come out of the audience later on when dramatic stuff happens, when conflict occurs, and we realize that each little whinny and each little relationship that they have, even just with animal sounds, results in this big booming sound later in the audience.
There's an extra layer of magic when you bring an object to life through breath, and I think other people seeing that, like this show really brings it to the forefront because you see all the animals living and breathing, and I'm just excited for everyone to see like the magic that is puppetry.
I see them as musicians, all the puppeteers, because none of them are trying to like play better than the other person. They're all playing, doing what they need to so that the piece of music could be heard. So it's that music I dance with. It's like a sort of dance, and yeah.
Shakespeare just got a pop music rewrite, and Juliet puts a new twist on the story of the Romeo and Juliet heroine. I took a walk with Juliet herself, Lorna Courtney.
Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time.
I'm intrigued by the fact that you knew you wanted to pursue acting at such a young age, and you were determined. So LaGuardia High School is not far from my house, and I pass it all the time thinking like, oh, there's gotta be so much talent in there, and you were one of the talent. Talk a little bit about that, because you were determined.
Yes, so I auditioned for LaGuardia High School. I sung I Feel Pretty
Oh,
from
wow.
West Side Story, and I was in West Side Story, and I understudied Maria. When I got in, I did not know that I was going to be studying opera. I thought that I was going to be studying Max Martin songs, the songs that I grew up listening to on the radio and now on Spotify, Apple Music. It was like Fame, like the television show. There was people singing and dancing on tabletops in the cafeteria, playing their guitar during breaks in the hallways, and everyone was just so talented and so supportive, so loving. And it really just nurtured me and helped me find out that I wanted to do musical theater.
I got the eye of the tiger, fire, dancing through the fire.
Let's talk about In Juliet now, because this story is a story of it's flipped on its head, right? And something so different. I feel like people come to it with, do they come with an expectation of what it's going to be and walk away not believing what the show is?
Honestly, because it's such a word of mouth show, I feel like a lot of people don't know what to expect, and that's the best part, because they leave being just transformed into this new world of old and new, a Shakespearean time, but sort of also like 90s, early 2000s vibes, and you see that in the costumes, the music, of course. And they have a blast, and it's laughing nonstop. It's almost like everyone's having a big party, but it's also surprising to them because they are touched and they connect with the characters. It's hard as an actor too, when people in the audience are having so much fun,
right,
that they're just like, they're singing along with you, or they're like, their laughter like is so authentic that it's so loud, and but I take it as a compliment, because they feel that they can be their true selves and they can express themselves. They feel so loved and so supported by what they're seeing and the people that's around them, that they can be free. And that I don't think I've ever really experienced like as an audience member, like in a Broadway show.
Get ready to be a part of it. New York, New York is now on Broadway, and the crowd was ecstatic at the musical's first preview. Set in 1946, World War II is over, New York City is rebuilding, and dreams are big. It's inspired by the 1977 film by Martin Scorsese and the iconic music of Kander and Ebb and new lyrics from Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I came here with nothing, like hundreds before me, and millions behind me. You know you can find me in New York.
3, 2, 1.
Speaking of the greats, Kander and Ebb, 44th Street in Midtown has just been renamed in honor of the elite songwriting duo. This past week, the sign for Kander and Ebb Way was unveiled right outside the St. James Theater. The same night performances began for New York, New York. There's still a whole lot more to talk about on this edition of The Broadway Show. Coming up, it's Phantom's final days, and we're in the pit with one of the amazing musicians from Broadway's longest running show, Phantom of the Opera. This is The Broadway Show, and we're back in a flash.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Milligan. I play Aunt Deborah in Kimberly Akimbo, and you're watching The Broadway Show.
It's time to take a walk with a Broadway star, so let's send it out to Charlie Cooper.
Ellie, we're headed to work with you today.
Yes, we're going to the booth. Kimberly Akimbo, the musical.
Yes, this is actually your 5th Broadway show. What does it feel like?
Well, it is still very exciting. I'm still very grateful, and this in particular I think is a really good one. And the critics did agree.
I mean, you've played so many wild roles in the past. What do you feel about this particular role that kind of has a little more sentimental value to it?
I'm really grateful to get to play a role with some depth to it. She's still very funny, like we all can be in life, but like she's going through it. And I think there's like a bottom and there's like some depth in there that maybe I haven't gotten to do.
Yeah.
So it's really fulfilling. But I do relate to Patty in a lot of ways because I am a mom myself. There's a lot of things that are hard about parenting, and this one's particularly hard because her daughter Kim is turning 16 and she's got this disease that ages her so fast. And I don't know what you would do as a mom in that kind of a circumstance, you know?
It's kind of crazy to think about.
Well, then like no wonder Patty's crazy.
Right, exactly.
No wonder Patty is crazy. And in like a very funny way.
What does your pre-show prep look like? Because I saw on Twitter that sometimes you're riding the train, empty trains, and just like belting out a ballad.
Well, here's the deal, like, I'm at the last stop in Astoria, so oftentimes when I'm coming into work, people are coming home from work, and so I often get an empty train. And it's like a gift as a singer because I can just warm up on the train. And to be fair, like there has been a time or two where there has been somebody on the train, and it's New York City, so it's like who cares?
People don't care.
There
So
are
you just give
weirder,
them a show.
Yes, there are weirder things. I'll be like, whoa! And it's just like, okay, there's somebody singing. I've seen worse things. Hi, Nina. Look at that, Nina. She's in the show too.
I love when that happens. Do you still have nerves?
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Oh gosh, yeah.
What do you do to get rid of them?
You know what, I would say like I probably have more nerves now than I did when I first started out, because like when you're like 20 and you haven't lived your life yet, you're like, there's like no fear, right?
Fair enough, yep.
I hadn't gotten knocked down enough yet.
Yeah.
And then now when you get knocked down a peg every once in a while, like there's like a gratitude about it.
Well, listen, we're at work, lady.
We made it!
We made it to the Booth Theater. I think it's time to go. But thank you so much for letting us walk with you to work.
Well, thanks for keeping me company.
Of course.
Okay. Bye.
Welcome back to the Broadway show. I'm Tamsin Fidel. Let's get back to it.
In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came.
Phantom of the Opera is now in its final weeks. Andrew Lloyd Webber's masterpiece is the longest-running, highest-grossing musical in Broadway history. But the musical will close April 16th. An amazing journey for sure, and a bittersweet ending. Our man Perry is on the town.
Thanks, Tamsin. Though it may be coming to an end, for 35 years, the Phantom of the Opera has been a mainstay here on Broadway. Part of what makes the show so magic is the music by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Let's go inside the Majestic Theater to meet one of the makers of the music of the night. All right, we are right outside the pit with a longtime player in the orchestra of Phantom of the Opera, Matthew Goodman. Matthew, thanks so much for having us today.
Thank you.
Now, you are a clarinetist, correct, for the orchestra?
Yes, I play the B-flat clarinet, the E-flat clarinet, and the bass clarinet.
It's not just one instrument you're sitting down there with. You're switching between three the entire time.
That's right, yes.
Now, almost more impressive than 3 instruments, you've been with the show for quite some time. The entire time.
Yes.
Can you tell us what it's been like going through this for 35 years?
Well, it's been absolutely wonderful. It really has. It's a dream come true, really.
So, doing something for 35 years, have you ever gotten bored of it? Or
people ask me this all the time. And when I was 15, my family lived in Japan for a year and a half. And my Zen is very much a part of Japanese culture. It's the basis of all the art and history. So what I've done is I use the performance as a meditation session.
Wow.
And it's very challenging to keep your mind clear and focused for that whole time. And so I use it as a meditation session and keep focused that way.
Well, before we leave, I gotta ask, can you take me down to the pit?
Absolutely.
Awesome, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Wow, this is kind of surreal. I have to say, we are in the pit of the Majestic Theater, your home away from home for the last 35 years.
Yes.
But I have to ask, what does Broadway mean to you?
Broadway is it's New York. It's the most excitement for so many people. So it's a pleasure to bring such joy to everybody.
And that's going to do it for us. Until next time, I'm Tamsen Fidel, and this is The Broadway Show.